What if I told you that you could have a personal tutor, assistant, and mentor in your pocket at all times? One that makes studying easier, organization automatic, and has an immediate positive impact on your knowledge, productivity, and clinical skills. Well, that tool is AI, and here's what's happening right now. Students and trainees who are using AI tools like ChatGPT are studying more efficiently, understanding concepts deeper, and performing better on rotations than those who aren't. But here's the scary part. That gap is getting wider and wider every day. We're at a tipping point. Medical students and trainees who learn to use AI effectively now will have a massive advantage over those who don't. And the ones who ignore these tools, well, they're going to get left behind. AI isn't going anywhere. It's only getting more powerful and more integrated into medicine. I'm J.R. Smith, an orthopedic surgery resident at the Mayo Clinic, and AI has completely transformed how I learn and work as a physician. Today, I'm sharing 22 specific ways and prompts that you can use to start using AI right now to get ahead of the curve. Here's the reality. AI isn't coming to medicine, it's already here. And it's pretty good. A 2023 JAMA study found that AI chatbots outperformed physicians in both quality and empathy when answering patient questions, with evaluators preferring AI responses 78.6% of the time. Now, even though that data is pretty crazy and a little embarrassing, I don't think AI will ever actually replace the humanity involved in medicine, but we'd be fools if we don't think that it can help us. It's not about replacing the hard work, it's about amplifying it. It's not about becoming lazy, it's about becoming more strategic with our time and energy. You don't need to be tech savvy to use these tools. You just need to know how to ask the right questions. Before we dive in and talk about the practical stuff, let's talk about some important guardrails. AI is a powerful tool, but it's not perfect. Always double check medical information, especially anything related to patient care. Never use AI-generated content for actual patient decisions without first verifying it through reliable sources like up-to-date or peer-reviewed literature. Think of AI as a very smart assistant, not as a medical expert. It can help you learn faster and work more efficiently, but your critical thinking and evidence-based medicine training are still the foundation. The goal is to use AI as an accelerator, not as a replacement for the hard work of understanding medicine. First, I need to teach you the framework for creating powerful prompts that will make all the techniques I'm about to share even more effective. Great prompts have 4 key elements: role, task, format, and context. Think RTFC. First, tell AI what role you want it to play. Act as an orthopedic surgery attending, or you're a medical educator. Second, be specific about the task. Instead of explain this, say create 10 practice questions about this topic. Third, specify the format that you want it in bullet points, or as a conversation, or like I'm explaining to a patient. And finally, provide context about your level and needs. I'm a third-year medical student preparing for my surgery rotation. A weak prompt is tell me about heart failure. A strong prompt is act as a cardiology attending teaching a medical student. Explain heart failure pathophysiology using simple analogies and real-world examples that would help me understand it for my internal medicine rotation. Focus on the concepts I'll need to ace an exam on this topic. This is the framework that will make every tip I'm about to share significantly more powerful. There are a ton of different AI language learning models out there that can act as your personal assistant and help you with all of the tasks we're going to be talking about. I have ChatGPT on my phone's home screen and use it daily for clinical questions as I'm presented with real cases, but there are several great options, and I encourage you to experiment to find what works best for you. ChatGPT is probably the most user-friendly and may have the largest medical knowledge base. It's also great for general medical questions and has custom GPT options where you can create specialized assistants. It also handles conversational learning really well and can adapt its explanations to your level. Claude is another option that tends to be more cautious and detailed with medical advice, which can actually be pretty helpful when you want thorough, conservative responses. It's also better at handling larger documents, so if you're uploading multiple research papers or a book chapter, Claude might work better. It's particularly good at breaking down complex information systematically. Gemini is the last of the big 3 in my opinion, and it integrates seamlessly with Google services. So if you're already using Google Docs and Sheets for your studies and love that ecosystem, it might fit naturally into your workflow. It's also very strong at visual content and can help you with presentations. Now, throughout this video, I'll be mentioning ChatGPT specifically, but you can replace it with the AI model of your choosing and paste in the same prompts. The key is finding which response style clicks with your learning preferences. So my recommendation is to try all 3 of these with the same medical question and see which one gives you the response that resonates best with how you learn. They each have different strengths, and you might also just find yourself using different ones for different tasks. Let's start with the area where AI can have the biggest immediate impact, and that's on your studying and learning. Tip number 1 is to create your own GPT. I created an AI tutor that explains complex medical concepts better than most professors. Let me show you exactly how to create your own specialized AI tutor. I created a custom GPT called Ortho Tutor using the role, task, format, and context framework. Here's what I told it. You're an experienced orthopedic surgeon with decades of experience teaching residents. You're passionate about education and making complex concepts understandable. Your role is to help me understand orthopedic principles through the use of analogies and basic language that makes difficult topics stick. Now I can ask it, help me understand tension band fixation as it relates to treating a patellar fracture, or what is meant by working length for constructs as it relates to plates used for fracture fixation. It breaks down orthopedic concepts into pieces that actually stick for me. It's like having a tutor who never gets tired, never judges your questions, and can explain the same concept 10 different ways until you actually get it, which is what I need. You can create your own version for any specialty using the same approach. Just specify the role, your learning needs, and how you want information delivered. Tip number 2 is create flashcards instantly. I know many of you love Anki, and if you're not new here, you know I do too, because it combines the active recall and spaced repetition, which are the most evidence-based learning strategies. But if you're not an Anki person or want to try something different, AI can help you get those same benefits. Use this prompt. Act as a medical educator creating study materials. Turn these lecture notes into 15 flashcards with questions that require active recall, not just recognition. Format them with a question on one side and detailed explanations on the other. Focus on clinical application and make sure each question tests understanding, not just memorization. You can then copy these into whatever flashcard system you prefer, or even just review them as text. The key is that you're still getting that active recall practice that makes learning stick. Tip number 3 is generate practice questions. This one's huge for board prep and really reinforces active learning. Here's a prompt for you to try. Act as a board question writer with expertise in USMLE style questions. Create 10 clinically relevant questions about topic with detailed explanations for each answer choice, including why the wrong answers are incorrect. Focus on high yield concepts and clinical reasoning, and format each question with a brief clinical vignette when appropriate. Get personalized practice questions that target exactly what you're studying. This would have been incredibly useful to supplement my UWorld questions in medical school. It's way more efficient than hunting through question banks for specific topics, and you can generate unlimited questions on your weak areas. Tip number 4 is summarize dense medical literature. We all know reading research papers can be overwhelming, and sometimes after reading journal articles, I need a quick refresher before a journal club, so I use this prompt. Act as a medical researcher summarizing literature for clinical application. Summarize this research article, highlighting the key clinical takeaways, practice-changing information, and relevance to patient care. Focus on what a practicing physician needs to know, and critique the strengths and weaknesses of the methodology. This gives you the main points quickly and can guide further research. It doesn't replace reading the full paper, but it's perfect for quick reviews. Tip number 5 is create learning tools. Instead of basic memory tricks, use this prompt. Act as a medical educator, creating memorable learning tools. Create effective learning devices for medical topic, including mnemonics, analogies, and conceptual frameworks that help with long-term retention and clinical application. It generates learning tools that are way more creative and memorable than what you probably could come up with on your own. And plus, the process of asking for and evaluating these tools is another form of active recall. Tip number 6 is stimulate clinical teaching. This is brilliant for rotation prep and practicing active recall in a clinical context. Tell the AI, act as a specialty attending, conducting bedside teaching. Ask me progressively challenging questions about topic, starting with basic concepts. Provide hints if I struggle and explain the clinical reasoning behind each answer. Simulate the pimping experience. Note, pimping just refers to the traditional medical education practice of asking students questions to teach and reinforce concepts. It's probably an outdated term, but it's still commonly used. But now you can get personalized Q&A sessions that prepare you for the real thing. It's like having a tutor available 24/7 who never gets tired of your questions. Tip number 7 is generate spaced repetition schedules. For those who want the benefits of spaced repetition, but again, don't love Anki's interface, this is perfect. You can say, act as a learning scientist specialized in medical education. Create a 30-day spaced repetition schedule for mastering topic. Include what to review each day and when to revisit material based on memory science and forgetting curves. Optimize for long-term retention. It creates the same optimized review schedule that Anki would, but in a format that you can use with whatever study method you prefer. Tip number 8 is draft custom study schedules. Use this prompt. Act as a medical education advisor and create a realistic daily study schedule for time frame to prepare for a specific goal. Include topics to cover, while incorporating active recall and spaced repetition principles. Account for clinical duties and adjust based on high-yield concepts. It creates structured plans tailored to your timeline and goals, and you can ask it to adjust based on your commitments or learning style preferences. Now, really quick, before we go on to the next section, I want to introduce my course, the Evolving Student Challenge. This is a 30-day program designed to give you everything that you need to be a top-tier learner in medical school and beyond. Every day for 30 straight days, you get a short video on topics ranging from habit formation and mindset to study tips and test-taking strategies. It's not just about academic performance, it's about developing the complete skill set you need to thrive in medicine. The course also gives you access to my personal Notion workspace, and we set it up together in a way that makes it personalized to your specific needs and goals. This workspace can actually be the perfect place to organize and store all the study tools and notes that you're generating using the AI techniques that we're learning today. The goal is simple: transform how you approach learning so that you can achieve more while feeling less overwhelmed. One student who took the course said, "This course will not only show you how you can use systems to become a better student, it will help you elevate every area of your life." And another one said, "Whether you're struggling with motivation, seeking to improve study habits, or aiming to excel academically, this course offers invaluable guidance and support." You can check it out using the link in the description below if you're interested. Now, let's talk about using AI to boost your productivity and help you accomplish more in less time, which is crucial during the demands of medical training. Tip number 9 is prioritize your chaos. Medical training comes with an overwhelming number of tasks. Use this prompt in your AI. Act as a productivity consultant for medical professionals. Organize these tasks into a prioritized action list with time estimates. Consider which tasks are urgent versus important and suggest what I should tackle first based on maximum impact and deadlines. It helps you see what actually matters and what can wait. This is especially helpful during busy rotations when everything feels urgent. Tip number 10 is voice memos to action items. Act as a professional communication advisor for medical trainees. Help me write a professional email for specific purpose. The tone should be insert your desired tone and include insert specific details about your situation. It nails the tone that you want every time and helps communicate more effectively with faculty and mentors. Tip number 11 is professional email drafting. I know I'm not the only one who reads emails like 30 times before clicking send. Instead, just use this prompt. Act as a professional communication advisor for medical trainees. Help me write a professional email for specific purpose. The tone should be insert your desired tone and include insert specific details about your situation. It nails the tone that you want every time and helps communicate more effectively with faculty and mentors. Tip number 12 is automate recurring tasks. Ask it to create templates for common tasks. For example, for case presentations, I can say act as a medical educator, create a comprehensive template for presenting patient cases during educational conferences that includes all essential elements and follows standard medical presentation format. For surgical case prep, which I use regularly, I can say act as a surgical educator and create a template for preparing for the OR that covers indications, patient prepping and positioning, exposure and surgical steps, closure, and post-op protocol. Make it comprehensive but easy to follow. Once you have these templates, you just fill in the specifics. This saves tons of time on repetitive tasks and also ensures consistency. Now let's focus on using your AI to support your academic goals and make research and writing more efficient. Tip number 13 is literature review summaries. I use AI to review the literature on topics so I can have a good understanding of the current research landscape, which can support my current projects or guide future research ideas. Here's the prompt. Act as a medical researcher conducting a literature review. Synthesize the main findings from these studies. Identify any conflicting results, highlight gaps in the current literature, and suggest areas where further research is needed. This saves hours of manual comparison and helps you see patterns across studies. Just remember to verify AI's interpretation by reading the key papers yourself. Tip number 14 is research paper outlines. Starting a research paper can feel overwhelming, so you can ask AI, act as an academic medical writer. Create a detailed outline for a research paper about your topic, including what should go in each section, key points to address, and logical flow between sections. Follow standard medical journal format. You can get a roadmap that makes writing so much easier. It's like having a writing coach who understands academic structure. By the way, I have an entire video reviewing Genie AI, which has been a game changer for drafting research papers and academic writing. It's specifically designed for academics and handles citations, formatting, and structure automatically. I'll link that in the description because it's worth checking out if you're doing serious research writing. Tip number 15 is edit and polishing writing. Use this prompt. Act as a medical writing editor and improve this text for clarity, professional tone, and impact while maintaining all medical accuracy. Point out any awkward phrasing, unclear sentences, or areas where the argument could be stronger. It catches things that you might miss and makes your writing cleaner and more professional. This is also very helpful when writing personal statements. Tip number 16 is data interpretation help. Struggling with statistics, you are not alone, but you can try act as a biostatistician explaining results to medical researchers. Help me understand what these statistical results mean in clinical context and suggest appropriate interpretation for type of study. Explain the clinical significance of these findings. It explains complex analyses in understandable terms and can suggest approaches you might not have even considered. Now let's talk about a few final clinical and career applications that AI can be used for, with tip number 17, and that's case presentation summaries. Before presenting cases to your senior resident or attending, you can use this prompt to become more comfortable and effective at presenting. Act as a medical educator helping with case presentations. Organize this patient case into a clear and concise presentation that follows standard medical presentation structure and highlights the most clinically relevant details. It structures your thoughts and highlights the most relevant details while ensuring you don't miss the important things that your attending expects to hear. Tip number 18 is SOAP note organization. This is huge for efficiency on busy rotations. You can ask AI, act as a clinical documentation expert, organize the patient history, physical exam findings, diagnostic interpretations, and treatment plan into a professional SOAP note that's comprehensive but concise. And a quick note on this, you're pasting the clinical information without the protected medical information, just the basic history, exam findings, and your clinical thinking. But this can save so much time and reduce the paperwork burden that we all experience. Tip number 19 is differential diagnosis practice. Present a case scenario and act as a clinical reasoning expert. For this presentation, provide a systematic differential ranked by likelihood, explain your reasoning for each possibility, and suggest what additional tests would help narrow down the diagnosis. This helps you think through cases systematically and practice the clinical reasoning that's essential for good patient care. Tip number 20 is CV optimization. Upload your CV and act as a medical career advisor specializing in residency applications. Analyze this CV. What's missing, what could be stronger, and how should I better highlight my experiences? Provide specific suggestions for improvement. It provides objective feedback you might not get elsewhere and can suggest ways to present your experiences more effectively. Tip number 21 is medical news summaries. Staying current with medical literature is tough when you're busy, but AI can help when you ask it to act as a medical information specialist for specialty of interest, summarize the most important recent developments this month, including new guidelines, significant research findings, and practice-changing information. You can now stay current without spending hours just searching for information, but you should still read the full guidelines or papers for anything directly related to patient care or that's interesting for you. And finally, tip number 22 is specialty learning plans. Since I'm in orthopedic surgery, here's how I'd approach this. Act as an orthopedic surgery career mentor. Create a comprehensive learning plan to prepare for orthopedic surgery residency, including key topics, recommended resources, timelines for preparation, and ways that I can gain relevant experience and mentorship. You'll get personalized career guidance that considers your current level and goals. And now, for making it this far, I wanted to share a few bonus AI tools that I absolutely love. It's called Notebook LM, and it converts documents, voice memos, and videos into different formats. I upload surgical guides and op notes, and it converts them into podcast-style discussions between two AI hosts. So I can listen to these on my way to work before doing specific cases. It's like having a personalized medical podcast that covers exactly what I need to know for that day. Here's an example for a reverse total shoulder arthroplasty that I was praying for.
The guide specifically calls out protecting the musculocutaneous nerve and the axillary nerve. Big ones.
How do they manage that?
For the musculocutaneous, it runs near the conjoined tendon. The guide warns, don't put retractors on the inner side of that tendon because that's where the nerve is vulnerable.
Very specific instruction.
The natural dialogue is ridiculously impressive, and it actually helps the information stick for me. There are so many AI resources out there now that you can find the ones that adapt best to your learning style. Some people learn better by listening, others by reading, but if you're into podcast, this one is a must. And lastly, there's one more tool that I think everyone in healthcare could benefit from, given how many presentations we have to create on a regular basis, and that is Gamma. Gamma has revolutionized how I create presentations for research and education. I just input my content and it creates professional slides automatically. Since I have to create so many presentations relatively frequently for research or educational purposes, this has saved me countless of hours and the results look so much better than I could have done on my own. These tools show how AI is becoming more specialized and can handle complex tasks that used to take tons of our time. So here's the next step for you. Pick a handful of tips from this list and try them this week. Start with the ones that address your biggest current challenges, whether that's studying more efficiently, organizing your research, or preparing for your clinical rotations. And if you want a free document with all of these prompts so that you can easily copy and paste them without having to remember anything, I got you. Link in the description. You know I wasn't gonna expect you to remember all of that. But what you should remember is that RTFC framework: role, task, format, context. Because then you can create your own prompts and make them even better and specific to your needs. More importantly, remember that these tools are meant to amplify your learning and work, not replace the critical thinking and clinical skills that make great physicians. The medical professionals who will thrive in the next decade are those who will embrace these tools while maintaining the human elements that make great doctors. If you like this video, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to work smarter and not harder. And if you like this one, I bet you would absolutely love this video where I talk about the one thing that may have the biggest impact on your success in a career in medicine, but no one is talking about. As always, keep evolving, and I'll see you guys in the next one.